Hello everybody, it's Kelly. Welcome back, Fairy Keely's Hobbies. And I am here today for hashtag Stampin' Sunday, hosted by Thelma Hall over at the Thelma Hall, and Paula over at Crafting by the Pond, as well as Stamp and Play, which is hosted by Susan over at Susan's Heartstrings. And this is an open collab where you can just come on and share what you've stamped, and if you have any tips or anything like that that you can share. So I had purchased this mushroom stamp set from Temu, and it was a really good price for the four stamps, and they look to be like they could be about the ATC size, maybe just a tad larger. And I had already used this one on a card that I made for Lucia over at Tiho Creates. And I also stamped and colored this one in that I shared, I think, last Stampin' Sunday. So I wanted to go ahead and stamp and share the other three, which is probably why I had the three in my mind. So I'm sorry about the glare. There's might not be much I could do about it, or the sticker in here, but so there's the mushroom, some scripting, stamp, and like a little, looks like a little ticket and another stamp. This one has a stamp, numbers from mushroom, some number 9.14, 0.74, 0.58, 0.37, and then figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. There's a butterfly and a couple stamps right here, and then the fun little marquee, I guess, on the side. This one over here is like a receipt. A stamp right here with an R. This actually R without the X kind of reminds me of prescription, but cute little mushrooms right there. And then this one has script all along the back, a couple numbers here and there, and a stamp. Sorry. It's so long it's bumping into my camera stand. So we'll kind of tip it a little bit. So it's a pretty good stamp. I used my stamping platform, this one that I had purchased off of Temu. I do have the Stampin' Up! Stamparatus, but it takes up a significant amount of space on my table, and I have my laptop over here on this side taking up the other half of the table. So I don't really have a lot of room for the Stamparatus. So I've been using this one, especially if I have smaller stamps to stamp. So you just, what I do is I will take the, and I'm going to turn this one over. I will just put the paper down. Then I would lay the stamp on top of it, shut the door. The door will pick up the stamp, and then it's aligned perfectly where I want it to go. And it works pretty good. I primed, I think, this stamp and maybe this one. But this time, when I stamped the other three, this one was probably already primed, but I didn't prime these two. By priming, I mean like, sometimes when you get a stamp, Thelma has mentioned this before, it has like a film on it, so it feels a little tacky or a little, sometimes it'll feel a little slimy, and sometimes it can be, it can cause your images not to stamp right. So you would think that your stamp is not that great, but really if you just take a damp paper towel and then just run it over the side that you're going to put your ink on, and then let it dry real quick, and then do your stamping from there. So this is the stamp set that I had used. I had also used these pencils from Stampin' Up. These are I thought it had a thing written on it, but I guess not. And I've had these for a significant amount of time. So I no longer have the box that they came in. I think I have 2 sets in here. And but it gives you a number, which I'm assuming is the number of the pencil. I'm not sure. And then the color, Gorgeous Grape. Like this one is Coastal Cabana, that kind of thing. And these are not cheap pencils, so I try not to use them very often because they're a little pricey to replace. You would have, and you can't replace one at a time. You'd have to buy a whole new box. But I have been noticing like this one, which is Pumpkin Pie. I used this one today, and I added a bit of pressure to the tip, and it broke. Like, I'm spending all this money on these, and they break. So just keep that in mind. But they are watercolor pencils. So if you're able to find watercolor pencils for a decent price, I would just say go ahead and try it. I'm not mad about these pencils at all. They do the job. They color really well. They're really quite smooth. I'm just a little bit disappointed that the tips have been breaking. And I don't know if it's because I've had them for a long time. And I mean, I've had them for a long time. But like if I do a coloring book or just a little quick color page or what have you, I no longer use these to do that with. I would rather just use whatever I get from Walmart or the dollar store for those ones. And especially since these are watercolor based. Now, they come with, I don't know if I can reach. Let me try. Okay, there we go. They don't come with. You have to purchase these. These are the Stampin' Up! Blender pens. They come in a box like this. You get 3. I don't remember how much they were. But you can use these to blend your watercolor pencils. And you get 2 ends. And you can pretty much tell when they start to dry out and you'll need a new one. I try to keep, like, this one is more of a green hue. And so I try to use this one for greens and blues, maybe some yellows. This one has more of an orange peach hue to it, so I try to use these for the reds and the oranges and pinks. So I try not to use the same, like, see these ones. Let me open this up real quick. I think this one, there's one that hasn't even been used yet. Yeah, I don't think that one's been used yet. This one has blue. And I think that, yeah, and this one does too, with a little bit of orange. So I try to keep the color families just like you would with your blender brushes. Try to keep them the same color family, because even though there are blender brushes, you can get, okay, why are we not going back into the box? Oh, it's because it's hooked on the lid. Oh, there we go. You can get bleed through of other colors from the blending pens. But this last time, I had watched somebody do watercoloring, and I believe it was a bullet for my snail mail. And she had freehand drawn something for a challenge, and she used watercolor pencils, and then she used a paintbrush and she just dipped it in water and then just did it that way. I don't have a paintbrush, but I do have several of these water pens, refill water pens. I've seen them at the Dollar Tree. I think this one I bought when I was doing all this stuff with Stampin' Up. I'm not sure. I also have over on the shelf over there a set of watercolor pens, and they look like this, and they have colors, different colors, and then you take this to activate the colors. I'm sorry, I'm shaking the table. And I had used that for another watercolor project, and that worked pretty well too. So there are many different ways that you can do watercolors and whatnot. So let's put these just back here for now. And this little thing I got at Michael's. I think they were like 99 cents or something like that. And then these are the ones that I color. Now, this paper does fit the exact size as this because I needed a white backing to show the stamps better. And so I just used, I just pulled another piece of paper out of the watercolor paper that I had showed before. And so this lets you know that, you cut it in half and then you cut the halves in halves and you have 4 perfect pieces because this is an 8 by 10. Yeah, I believe it's 8 by 10. So here's the one that was up in the upper left-hand corner. It just says Thursday, September 29th. Some script in it. The stamp, the little ticket. I thought it'd be fun to do this one, this mushroom orange. I know that there's a mushroom in the woods called chicken in the woods that's like a dark yellow, light orange. So I thought, why not? Why can't this toadstool looking mushroom have that color? And then the background is a yellow, and then I used the dark green for the grass. And then I just used this to activate the water part. This one I went with pink, purple, and light blue for the butterfly. And I used the light blue down here. I used a bright green for the foliage, and then the background color I had used the same green but very lightly so that it would blend out with the water. And then I used pink. I think the color is called Calypso Coral. So I used like a coral color. So I did the darkened area, where the natural shading is on the mushroom, and then used the watercolor or the water to kind of move the colors around a little bit. This one, it also looks orange, but it's actually called Cajun Craze. It's like a red orange. And this is the receipt one. It's got a little stamp right there. It's got the R right there. I used the same color. It's called Crushed Curry that I had used on the first card I colored. The background is the light blue. I thought it turned out pretty good. And then this is the one that I had shown last time that I had used the real red, the Crushed Curry. As you can see, the Crushed Curry on this one is a little bit darker than this one. And it's got the script, a couple of stamps and numbers and whatnot. Some leaves, foliage down here at the bottom. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these yet. Like I had said, I had mentioned possibly putting them in a fairy garden journal, which would be perfect for this. But these are quite thick. So unless I do them as, stash them in a pocket, I'm not sure how they'll work in there. But I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with them yet. But I like the way that they turned out, and kind of just show you a little bit that even simple stamping and coloring can make your project look really beautiful. And it all depends on how you do it. Like the card that I had made for Lucia, it was on a, I did the background colors, like 3 different colors in the purple blue category, because those are her and her husband's favorite colors, is the purples and the blues. And then I just stamped it on the black so that everything variegated, I didn't color it in the mushroom. So it all just depends on how you want to make the image look. Do you want it to look more natural like this? Or do you want to just have fun with it and just stamp over a background color that you created, or that you even if you have paper itself that has like that light color that you can stamp right over the top of. So anyway, that was my project for this week. Thank you guys for stopping by and checking out my video. Thank you, Thelma, Paula, and Susan for hosting such fun collabs, Stampin' Sunday and Stamp Play. And if you guys are interested in partaking, the ladies would love to have you. Be great to see if you guys have any different, any types of tricks or tips or anything that you guys do when you're doing your stamping. You know, maybe there's something that, you know, some of us have been stamping for a long time, and maybe there's a technique out there that we didn't know about that would work out really well. That, you know, maybe it works out for you. So that'd be great. If you're interested in seeing what everybody else is doing for this collab, just follow the hashtag Stampin' Sunday, Stamp and Play, and then you can see what everybody else is up to. Alrighty, I believe I know Thelma is in Canada, so I don't think they celebrate Memorial Day, but Memorial Day is coming up. It is a day that we acknowledge and remember the members of armed forces that have lost their lives to protect the freedoms that we have today. And my dad lost a couple of uncles in the war, and I think my mom's adopted, because my mother was adopted, so I think one of the members of her family also was lost during one of the wars. So I don't believe that there would be even one person that might not have had. There's always somehow, if they're not in your direct family, then you have a friend, coworker, or what have you that may have lost somebody that in the war in order for us, you know, fighting for our freedom. So while it is an extra day off work, and when I was a kid, I went with my friend and her family, and we went and put flowers on graves for those family members that were lost during the war. Now, my dad is a veteran. He was not lost during the war, but he has since passed. He was a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. My mother is also a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And it's a very emotional day for a lot of people. So I just wish everybody a safe and happy Memorial Day, and you have time to reflect on the freedoms that we have thanks to those who fought for them. Alrighty, now that sappy part of the video is over, thank you again, ladies, for having this fun collab. Thank you for checking out my stamping projects, and everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Take care.